we go. Easy.
Hooray. We've done it.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize right from the get-go. The tenants downstairs moved out, so the landlord has been fixing stuff for the last few days. You might hear some weird banging in the background.
If that banging was on my end or coming from you guys.
No, it's here.
I didn't hear any banging
fixing
at all.
some stuff up. Okay.
Okay.
Well, hopefully it won't come. I'm guessing it won't come through the audio part, but for the live part, it might.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we'll see how the noise cancel does.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I can hear it, it's coming through the live one at least.
Yeah, I'll try to mute whenever it gets really bad, but it shouldn't be too bad either way.
I have a couple of recommendations for viewing stuff that people should check out. I want to start off with. Okay. First, I'm a big fan of the Netflix original series, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Okay.
Which ended about a year and a half ago. They just when was it? Maybe it was Tuesday. I think this last Tuesday, they came out with one of those interactive specials similar to the Bandersnatch, as I'm sure you're aware of that one.
Yeah, sure.
So they have one of those for Kimmy Schmidt, and it is absolutely hilarious. So if you didn't know about that and you were a Kimmy Schmidt fan, definitely check that out. If you're not a Kimmy Schmidt fan, what are you doing? You should go watch that series. I'm a huge fan of that show. It's very funny.
Okay.
The other recommendation I want to give is, have you guys heard of Animal Talking from Gary Whitta?
Yeah, you told me about this. I'm not interested in Animal Crossing, so I'm going to skip out.
So Gary Whitta, you may know him. He wrote Rogue One. He wrote After Earth. He's written some video game stuff. I know him from back in like some of the old Tested.com days when he was on that podcast and whatnot. Anyway,
yeah,
cool guy, fun guy. He, in Animal Crossing, has built a late night talk show in the basement of his house, his Animal Crossing house, that has completely gone viral and just exploded. He's getting bigger and bigger names. I had been tuning into a little bit. Last night was the first time I watched the full episode because the main guest on it was T-Pain.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So he invites celebrities over to his Animal Crossing town because he finds celebrities that are playing Animal Crossing, invites them over. They fly to his island. They go into his basement, which he has turned into a late night talk show studio. He has like a backdrop. He's like has fake cameras, a desk and couch. He sits behind the desk. His guests come and they sit on the couch, and he just like shoots the shit and interviews them for like an hour or two. T-Pain was absolutely ecstatic to be there. You could tell that guy was having so much fun. You could also tell that he was probably high.
Sure. Yep.
From the number of like bong rips it sounded like he was taking during this. But T-Pain was he was so excited. He was screaming and yelling. When T-Pain is having his excitement is infectious, and when he's smiling, I'm smiling. Is what I learned during that stream yesterday. That was great. Dude loves Animal Crossing. He kept shouting about how the weed man is on his island and he keeps trying to sell him weed. What else was he a huge fan of? He just basically loved it. Tonight, Gary goes live. I don't know if it's every night or if it's a few nights a week, but he's going live again tonight in about 20 minutes, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Tonight's guests are Elijah Wood and Danny Trejo together.
Wow.
That's so weird.
Wow.
So he's going to have them both on at the same time, interviewing them because they're both playing Animal Crossing these days. How fantastic is that?
I mean, it's really weird hearing those two together, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like it's going to be so great. He's in talks, from what I've seen through Twitter, because whenever someone like really big reaches out, because I follow Gary will kind of retweet it and be like, "Ooh, maybe this will be something." Reggie Fils-Aimé is in talks to come on the show, along with AOC, like getting some huge names. I am so excited to see just how big this will go.
Just in Animal Crossing, that's just the thing. It was just the perfect thing at the perfect time.
It was the perfect thing, perfect time. And it's funny because they'll be like, yeah, no one else is doing this. I'm not inviting you, like Conan O'Brien's not inviting you over to sit on the couch, giving you a 1 million bell crown. Gary gave T-Pain a a 1.2 million bell crown, and the dude screamed for like a solid minute. He was so excited. Gary showed T-Pain how you can take off most of your clothes, and T-Pain was so excited about that he did most of the interview without clothes on. Like, it's fantastic. Gary gets musical guests. He gets musical guests to also come in between guests, they will like play a set, you know, just through their like mic and whatnot, like an acoustic set or something, or if they got like the electronics, you know, connected into their computer so they can do that, they'll play a set. That's fantastic. It is really a really great thing to see. In the chat, people are asking what's the name of the channel. It's just Gary Whitta. It's GaryWhitta, and the show is called Animal Talking. So he also has VODs up on his YouTube channel if you want to see some past guests. I highly recommend it. It's a weird time. The T-Pain episode is extremely enjoyable. I can't recommend that one enough. But I'm excited to, after this show, go watch Danny Trejo and Elijah Wood talk to Gary about Animal Crossing. It's a good time. I think it's very cool. So those are my two visual recommendations this week.
Cool.
What's up with you guys? What have you been doing for the past week to kill time?
Staring at the wall.
I've been sleeping a lot recently. I think I'm coming down with like a little cold, so it's been kind of nice to just hang out.
Say you sound a little.
How do you catch a cold?
Low.
Who are you hanging out with that's sick?
I don't know if that's a serious question, because you realize
I think it is.
You realize you can get sickness.
You got to get the virus from somewhere.
Anyways, I think I'm catching a little bit of a cold, so I'm a little bit sniffly or whatever. But yeah, no, nothing too interesting. Just been I've been trying to find stuff to watch on YouTube, and man, there's like
watch
nothing
all
to
of
watch.
Mr. Science Theater, because almost all of Mr. Science Theater is up there. It's what I used to do in university.
Oh, okay, that might not be a bad idea. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been doing a whole lot. I mean, I played one game this week actually, and that includes I didn't play Picross or like anything in my downtime that I don't talk about. So I've been trying to stay away from video games this week. I've been just wanting to like lay on the couch with a blanket and watch some stuff. So it's been kind of a nice week to binge some stuff, but I've been kind of in and out of sleep for most of this week. Feeling better today, so that's good. A little sneezy. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the weather change and like it was very cold the other day and we had a window open, so it was extraordinarily cold in our apartment. And I think I fell asleep with the window open, so definitely doesn't help. But yeah, I haven't been doing much myself. I might actually catch up on those Animal Talking or whatever, because that sounds like something to watch. Honestly, I'm kind of just looking for stuff to like watch right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't recommend like every episode. A lot of the guests I don't know, but
Sure.
The T-Pain one from last night, you should definitely check out.
Sure. Does he have like Norman Will on for like an old tested reunion at all?
Don't think he's done that.
God damn it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't bring them on. I could see it happening for sure. He is bringing on kind of like more like nerdy internet celebrities too. Like he's bringing on the 3 women from What's Good Games. I think that's tomorrow night.
Sure.
And they are being partnered with Tim Schafer, so he will be another guest tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Damn. Cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
Well, if there's nothing else, why don't we get into the show? This is the Top Down Perspective for May 14th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
And Paul, why don't we start with you? What have you been playing?
I wrapped up the Mega Man Zero saga with the end of 03 and the full game of 04 this week. And
you did finish 04.
Oh yeah, I played through all of it. Okay. That game is a letdown in a lot of ways.
Yeah, isn't it? It just didn't click for some reason with me. It's the only Zero game I didn't bother to finish.
So first of all, 03 ending is so fucking good, but I'm not going to explain why, because even though it's an old game, it's spoilers and like there's actual,
and the re-release was like a couple months ago, so
sure. Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't spoiled for me miraculously this whole time. So, that was dope. That was a cool end. Honestly, 03 is just so freaking good that it, like, 03 and 02 are very, very good. I could see them being interchanged depending on, like, the person and when they played what and, like, what they got more into. I think 03 is the better one. As somebody who just played through all of them recently, I think it holds up better. 02 is very good. 01 I got a new respect for after playing 04, because 01 has a lot of problems with it and like it's very basic. 04 has the opposite problem where it should by all rights be fucking amazing because they added a bunch of new stuff and like the sprite works the best it's ever been. The music's still pretty good, although not as memorable. They added a whole bunch of like useless bullshit that doesn't matter and actually detracts from how the game is. So they added a weather mechanic, and there is straight up just like, oh, you can't get an X move unless you have the proper weather for this stage when you beat it, because it makes it like harder or easier. And I found that out by not getting 2 X moves and then being like, why the fuck am I not getting these? And then restarted the game out of frustration because it's like, well, I can't even go back and kill those enemies because I've killed them. Like, I would literally have to just go back and do it again. So I did it again, already in a bad mood. They introduce a character that I thought was very cool in 04, but it sucks because I know they're never doing anything with him again because that's the last one of that series, named Kraft or whatever. Like, I thought he was neat. He had, like, a neat arsenal or whatever, and he seemed like he could be a cool dude to introduce into the story somehow, like in a bigger story. But no, that he was introduced to just, like, not exist anymore. The end boss is one of the worst bosses in all of those games, like, including, like, all Mega Man games. It's one of the worst final bosses I've ever seen.
Wow.
It has...
That's a strong statement considering the history of this series.
It is a boss that has one weak point, that it covers up consistently, that you have to, like, get hits in during certain things. But it has a time limit also. It's fucking garbage. So, like, it's rare, I will admit, but I saw a video of somebody posted that's like, it's super rare, but this can happen. And the boss literally just never, like, put his shield down for his weak point the whole, like, 2-minute fight. And if the time just ran out. So that can happen.
Ew.
Yeah. It's really fucking bad. And the thing is that there's, like, good stuff in it. I think the knuckle is a cool idea where you just, like, rip the ability out of little enemies to, like, do stuff in the level. Kind of like a souped up Mega Man power where you don't just, like, take the ability of the boss. You take the ability of, like, the little shits in the level or, like, use their bodies to, like, attack other enemies or whatever. It's a neat idea, but I never felt the need to use it. It seems like it would be something that, like, when you're really good at the game, you would, like, just completely destroy shit with, like, the things that the level gives you, but I'm never going to get to that point. The music isn't as memorable as I said, so that's kind of a letdown. All of it is kind of just a letdown, and then it has, like, the inevitable end of Zero, right? Because by the time you hear about Zero again, it's a new Zero, essentially. So it's like, well, I know what this is leading up to. I don't know. There's something about that game that just, it doesn't hit right, and it should, by all rights, be, like, the best one. And it just isn't, and it's such a bummer. It's such a letdown for that whole series. And that ending, like, I'm not going to talk about the ending, but the last scene is just basically, like, one of the characters you've grown to love of the series crying the whole time with the credits rolling. It's just like, oh my god, what? This is the worst depressing ending ever. This is what I was fighting for? This sucks. So yeah, I'm glad to be done with that series. I'm really glad I got through it. 03 is fucking amazing, and that's the one I would recommend to people at this point if they're going to play one of them. It's so good. That's all I've been playing, though.
Okay, John, how about you?
Almost done Picross S4, so I'm almost free of Picross for now. My plan was originally like, oh, I'll play like 5 puzzles a day. And that was fine when I had all the long puzzles, and because it was just like, okay, I'll do the long puzzles. That's probably like what, an hour of gameplay, a little under. That's perfect. I'll go do something else. And then eventually got to the point where puzzles started taking like 3 minutes to do. I'm like, I got time to kill. So I kept burning through more and more. And now I'm on like all the regular ones are done. All the clip ones are done. All the color ones are done. I'm doing the extra gigantic ones now. And then I have the remainder of the Mega Picross to do, which is like another 100.
Yeah, those mega ones can be time consuming for sure.
I find them faster usually. I honestly find them faster. Yeah. Because they have a lot more tells than regular Picross has. That makes some of the more annoying parts easier to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Other than that, for game clearing this month, we're doing BioShock Infinite. This is something I didn't write down on the list.
Right.
So finally playing through that now.
Actually into it.
I'm enjoying the game.
Okay. I meant, like, are you actually, like, have you actually gotten to it? Like, you met Elizabeth? Are you into the game? Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Act 2, as people have told me. Like, we're about 30% through the game.
Okay.
Does that game still look good? I remember the characters
I'm playing
looking cool.
I'm playing the PS4 remaster. I showed you guys, I think, the weird like subtitle issues the other day.
Yeah.
Still present in the PS4 remaster. I don't know why it's like that. But yeah, no, the gameplay holds up pretty well still. It's still a pretty solid shooter. The tonics or whatever they're called are fun. Vigors, I think, is the actual term for them. Shooting is fun to do. The skyhook is real entertaining.
Murder of Crows, was that one of them?
Yeah, that instead of bees, you get crows.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't realize how heavy-handed it went on racism. So that caught me completely off guard when that happened on stream. Okay. I was like, oh, they're going real historic. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, no. Other than that, like, it's been fun. I'm curious to see where the plot goes because I'm told from most people, like, you don't expect the ending. So
yeah, the ending is definitely like a talking point. I'd be curious.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that when you get to that.
Yeah. Otherwise, Reese and I are playing through 7R still. We're nearing the end game, I think.
Okay.
We're about to finish chapter 14, so we just finished the
Side
final wave
hell.
of yeah, we just finished the final wave of side quests.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or what I assume
you have like 6 hours ish to go.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I did it in 36.
I think I'm at 32, 33 right now.
Sure.
But a lot of that was like leaving the game running because the cat kept wanting to go in and outside. but yeah, no. Wow, when the game wants you to get ready to go up to Shinra HQ, they level you up very fast.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff they give you.
It feels like night and day. I started the chapter like level 22, and I'm leaving it at level 32.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I haven't been grinding.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really grind in this game.
You can. It's just tedious.
Yeah, well, they don't want you to grind. Like,
yeah. But like it's weird because like now it's at the point where I'm like, okay, they're actually giving me money so I can buy things now. They're actually like giving me levels so I can start upgrading my weapons. They're actually like giving me interesting fights to do. Yeah. I didn't realize about the Coliseum. Like I just ignored the Coliseum because I'm like, oh, it's usually useless. It's just maybe some high-powered item.
That's the grind. That's where you can grind.
I didn't expect the Coliseum to have such good stuff in it.
Yeah, like, I think it gives you all of the other limit breaks, yeah.
It gives you, every character gets their other limit break.
Yeah.
And then you also get manuals to give yourself more like SP for your weapons. I'm just like, oh,
limit breaks?
Yes. Oh, everyone gets a second limit break.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't do any of that.
Yeah, no, I ignored it too. And then I was like, I was doing the side quest and they gave me book 3. I was like, I have book 1 and book 3. Where's book 2? I looked it up and I was like, oh, the Coliseum where you can get your limit breaks. Oh, okay. So I went and did that. And that was pretty easy considering I think I was over leveled from what they needed to be.
Yeah, but it's pretty easy as well, just in general. It's not too bad.
Yeah. Still ping-ponging back and forth on that game, honestly.
Sure.
Yeah, like there's times the battle system works great. There's times it's just a piece of trash. There are fights that are like super entertaining and like just like a fun challenge, and there are fights that are just absolute slogs and just the most tedious shit. It's just, I don't know what it is about how it doesn't quite land right to me for some reason. It's just it also
because I never really felt that.
What?
Which one of the fights felt like a slog to you?
Most boss fights, honestly. Bagu,
Weird.
both Bagu fights just felt like a tedious slog.
Which one's Bagu?
That's the one in the sewers.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Or sorry, is it Abzu? It might be Abzu. I can't remember which it is.
I
But
don't
it's something like
remember
that. It's 4
either.
letters.
It's something like that, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the big like chimera thing, right?
The
Yeah.
shitty behemoth.
No. Yeah, not the actual behemoth. No, that fight was also tedious, but not bad.
Sure.
I never felt any of the fights were like tedious.
I've so many of these fights that just felt like the most. They feel like they take way too long.
Okay.
Like I'm going in on weaknesses. I'm going in on like using moves all the time, and it just feels like it takes forever. Like I'm like when I get them actually staggered, I'll use Tifa and she'll like increase the stagger percentage so they take more damage and everything. And it still just feels like a fucking chore. But like it's gotten more fun, if that makes sense. But at the same time, it still feels wildly unbalanced at times. Like for example, one of the Abzu fight, full party, full health, doing great. 3/4 through the fight, suddenly 2 of them are dead and one's in the red. And I'm like, what? How the fuck did this happen? I don't fucking know. Literally, like I'm like working on the mobs, and then like one of my characters is like, okay, cool, the water's coming, so I got to dodge that. So I get out of the way of the water, but the water goes at an angle, so I still got clipped by it. But the AIs both decided to stand in the water and both got killed.
Yeah, that actually is the exact reason why a while ago I was like, I really wish there was just a button that was like rally on me to force everybody to come together. Yeah. That fight specifically.
The only thing that seems to rally them on a target is just locking on. Like camera lock on also forces your AI to lock on, which is a little stupid.
It's weird,
I don't know, man. The more I play this game, the more I'm thinking this game is going to be held in high regard for now. And then a couple months to years later, people are going to be like, yeah, it wasn't as good as we thought. It's going to be a BioShock Infinite. Because like Sean was talking about the other day, how people have turned around on BioShock Infinite. I feel like this game is going to have the same syndrome. It's just probably going to hold that status longer simply because it's Final Fantasy.
I think it's going to be like the second part is going to outshine it. And then people are going to be like, how did we play that?
No, me too. One? Like, I can tell playing this, the second part's going to be way better because they're going to have figured out all these weird kinks that are just annoying me about it. I hoping.
Think so. I think so, yeah.
Because I feel like the jump to Kingdom Hearts 1 to 2 was significant, that I enjoyed that much more.
Sure.
But like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm sick of seeing Nomura's OCs showing up all the fucking time. I really don't need like a 2 hour or however fucking long it was. I think it was only like an hour side quest about, a dude who looks like Riku.
Right.
And like, oh, he actually had a heart of gold the entire time. Like they don't.
Yeah. The sewer chase is actually
all
annoying.
Of this.
Yeah.
There's so many things that are just like, what are you doing?
Honestly, though,
this is just padding.
So what you've done is like side mission hell. Now it's literally all story stuff until the end. There's no more side shit at all. I think I
don't care. I don't care more so about the story stuff. I just care how much fluff. If they cut down on the fluff, I'd be great. Like I already know this is like a 5 hour in the original game stretch of game turned into 40.
Right, exactly.
I feel so opposite to this because like I don't feel like there's like any fluff. Like I'll agree that there's
so much
side
fluff
quests
in this
are
game.
Like the lowest point, but that's only because I enjoy the main campaign so much. I enjoyed like all the side quests. They weren't annoying or grindy or tedious.
Like some of the side quests are like some of the better fights because they're more challenging. I still don't like they're so crazy with the status effects, but at least now I've got stuff to mitigate that now finally.
I think I'm a little more on John's side with this, where like I don't want to find these stupid fucking kids and tell them to go to school. That's not my
my god.
Like that stuff I hate.
It takes like
that's
less
fluff.
than 10 minutes.
It doesn't matter. It's 10 minutes I want to do in a cool fight. Like I don't want to spend 10 minutes running around for no reason.
See,
I don't like.
The second time you have to do that, I fluked out and I was doing a different side quest and found where they were, and that was a cool but fucking tedious fight because they kept healing and it took so long to clock any damage on them. But like at least that wasn't as bad because like, okay, this is a fight that I need to like actually try with versus like just like, oh, just go talk, wander around town and just find 6 NPCs and talk to them.
On normal or hard or
normal. The hardest difficulty I could pick. The hardest difficulty I could pick, which is normal.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear it. I'm everything I'm hearing is like I just feel the opposite of that game of you.
Weird.
I definitely think it's going to be one of those games that like 2's going to do slight changes. That's like, oh yeah, this is so much better. The quality of life is so good here. I definitely. But
there's a lot of things about the second remake that I'm legit curious how they're going to tackle it. Like so far, from what I've done, it's been okay because like you have at max 4 characters to worry about that you can play as.
Right.
As presumably they're going to get far enough in Remake 2 that you're going to get the other 5.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do at that point? Like, they can't just keep like, like, okay, everyone else goes and does something else. This is the team you're forced with. Like, you got to like, they've got to follow the structure of the actual game or the original game at some point where it's like, yeah, you just have extra party characters you can just choose and make your own party.
I don't know. I mean, they could go that route if it because like I do agree. I feel like the second one they'll take a lot of this feedback and improve it for that first compared to the first one.
For sure.
But I thought the first one made a lot of like kind of smart decisions of like, oh, you can't just swap out the characters. This isn't like technically it's 7 people walking around, but you're only going to fight with 3 and the other 4 are just like, I don't know, RPG. Like there's a part later on that you're going to get to, John, where the teams do split up and you actually like bounce back and forth between them.
I figured as much because I remembered like, okay, at some point I do have all 4 in my party.
So like they're changing kind of enough stuff that I could see them just narratively splitting things up in that way. I could see it. Like they're making kind of a more like I don't want to say structured because that's not the right word, but they're making a more like tailored experience, I feel, compared to your typical RPG or to Final Fantasy VII original. Because like I'm not even convinced they're going to do an open world. Like I don't think they need to. I could see it just be like kind of these big hub areas, and you just kind of select, oh, instead of walking across the plains, I'm going to go to this region now, and it just kind of loads you into that.
I'm curious how they're going to handle that.
Yeah,
because at some point, like they got to do something. They got to make that decision. Maybe that's probably why the game stops where it does, because that's where the actual original game opens up a bunch. But I don't know. Like I'm very curious about how the second game is going to be, because like right now I'm getting like the only comparison I can think of right now is I'm getting major Final Fantasy 13 vibes, where it's like it just feels so weirdly strict and structured, and then suddenly it's just like, okay, now you're 20 hours in, now everything goes wild.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
This game changes a lot of stuff.
The story is also the story changes are also starting to get to me. Not in the like, oh, they changed this pristine story. More it's like, oh, here's a nugget of something interesting. Oops, we've pushed you away from it.
And we're not going to revisit it till the next game.
Oh my god. Yeah, basically my stance right now is there better be a big fucking payoff for these fucking ghosts, or I'm going to be so mad.
There's actually a huge payoff.
They do touch on the ghosts, and the ghosts are definitely like it's hard to, I don't even want to talk about it.
Like I said, we're if you're saying we're 6 hours away from the end of the game, then we'll finish it. Like we've come this far. It's probably going to take like the rest of the week to get to that point though, because we only get to play when I'm not streaming, basically.
Yeah.
But like we're like both Reese and I are just like, what the fuck? Like you show something interesting, then you just take us away from it.
They do that a lot. They do make good on a
lot
of it by the end, I will say though. They make good on quite a few things. Maybe to the point where people that really, really like the original Final Fantasy had problems with that ending in the way they did it, because they do some weird Liberty stuff that make good on
I still think we should spoiler cast this when John's done.
Like, I've already spoiler casted it.
At this rate, I might be down.
Yeah, we should. We should talk in length about it.
Yeah, if you want to again, Paul. I mean, if you're tired of talking, you don't have to. But I would love to like really get into it, because
it's the thing I hate the most.
It's the worst.
We talked about this game for like what 4 weeks straight. So
Well, because it's a significant game,
It
basically.
is
Like, let's be
significant.
real. This
Yeah.
game's been teased like what 4 or 5 years ago. Like I was still going to E3 at that point, and I've stopped. I haven't gone to the last 4.
And honestly,
Like it's
I did a cast with a guy who was very, very into the original. I kind of want to pick apart things with Sean, who didn't even finish the original.
yeah.
I've had such a desire to play through the original.
Yeah.
Just because I kind of want to know what the rest of that story is that I don't know.
Sure.
So that I can see what the differences they do are. But also, like, it's 2020. I don't got time for another RPG. I barely have time for one, and I've already played through like 2.
Like 2.5.
Well, how long is it to play through 7 nowadays? I don't even remember. I know it's got that fast forward mode built
I
in.
know it
if
has
you
like
play, the
there's
Switch
like a
version.
speed run way to get through it, like where you can just kind of heal everyone easily. Like there's an easy way to streamline that game, which sounds good. But again, that still probably only cuts down like
It's
a
still
dozen
daunting.
hours maybe.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII is about the same length as your first playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
So 36 hours?
Yeah, How Long to Beat says on average 33 hours for main story. For the original game, 38.
Okay.
Completionist of Remake, 80 hours.
Yeah.
Completionist of 7, 86.
Yeah.
That is
sounds about
fucking
right.
crazy. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like the
And I mean-
entire original game is the same fucking length of the remake, which is like a sixth of the original game.
That's awesome to me because I really enjoyed Remake. Like I loved
Sure.
it. Enough to actually make me want to go back and play the original. That's crazy.
I
I'm not even-
just want to fucking know how they're gonna do the rest of the game. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I think that's what's driving me crazier than anything else.
The ending has implications of how they're going to do it. We'll talk about it more at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week, don't be surprised if I'm like, what the fuck was that ending?
I'm actually gonna put my bet down that you hate the ending.
I'm gonna agree.
Because I like the ending.
Oh,
Interesting.
That's the only reason why.
I'm curious because my opinion of the original game went from I loved it to I hated it to I loved it again. So I'm curious which side of the coin I'm going to be on this one. There was just a while where I just hated 7, and then after seeing what Final Fantasy stayed as, I'm like, no, I think I actually like that game again.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm curious what my final opinion is going to be coming out of this.
That game has wild mood swings in it for sure. And like
It does.
I agree with John, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It has fluff either. Like and I don't even necessarily think he thinks it's terrible. It's just that he wants the more interesting stuff, and it's frustrating when it's like going down a path and then it's like find kids.
You can only like dangle a carrot on a stick so many times before you get fucking wise to it, basically. Like it's just like, okay, you've done this so many times at this point, like it's just becoming like predictable.
Sure.
And then the other thing's been like contrasting it with what I know of the original game, and it's just like, why are you changing that part? Like, why are you changing that part? Does this need to be
the story's
changed?
about to like kick it up a notch now for that stuff. So.
Yeah, so I'm very curious how the ending of this game is going to turn out for me.
Yeah, I'm actually curious too.
Anything else you played?
No, that's it.
All right. So it's silly that I'm wanting to play Final Fantasy VII Original, because I'm also having these like pulls to like I should start Yakuza. That's not a short game either. So what did I do instead? I went back and played some Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh my god!
Okay.
I was only 10 hours into that game.
You know, the short game.
Yeah, exactly.
The shortest game.
Yeah.
I was getting so many pulls to play it because of all the Valhalla stuff.
Okay.
And I was like,
That's
man,
fair.
I didn't finish that game. 10 hours is a lot, but from like Assassin's Creed length, I didn't really get deep into it. I want to play more of that.
Yeah.
So, I'm doing that. There is absolutely no end in sight. Like that
Yeah.
game is extremely dense. There's just so much to do, and I keep finding like whole other systems in this game. It is ridiculous. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm playing some Odyssey again. Man, that game is gorgeous. Holy smokes, it looks so nice.
Yep.
It looks absolutely great. And I'm hoping I don't get burned out in time for Valhalla. So I'm like shooting myself in the foot. Like, why am I doing this? But for some reason, I'm in an Assassin's Creed mood. It took me forever to remember the combat again. Holy smokes, that was hard to get into that. Games need to have like a, hey, we have seen you have not played this game for 3+ months. Would you like a quick rundown on some key mechanics that you really need to know? Like, man, I wish games had that. Holy smokes. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm kind of playing in my free time. The other big thing I've been playing is Apex Legends. Came out with season 5 this week. In my opinion, this is like the biggest season yet because they're adding a whole bunch of like PvE stuff in it. Specifically, it has like quests and stuff that you're going to be able to go on starting next week, which I'm very excited for. I'm not going to get like super deep into it because, you know, if you like Apex, you probably already know about this kind of stuff, but excuse me. The new character Loba is really cool. She can teleport around and she can like steal items off the battlefield, so she's a lot of fun. And now there are like treasure chests that you can find on the map that will, if you get enough each week, it'll unlock is it a hunt? I forget what exactly the quests are called, but there's like some PvE co-op stuff you can do where it's not just battle royale. That'll be starting next week. One a week will unlock for the remainder of the season. I'm pretty excited about that stuff. There's a whole bunch of new cool things in this season. So I'm playing a whole bunch of Apex again, like usual. I'm always playing a whole bunch of Apex.
Fair enough.
And then yeah, just the usual Animal Crossing and Gears Tactics. I can't play a whole bunch of Gears Tactics in one sitting. I can usually get like 1 or 2 missions done before it's been a while, because each mission probably takes me like at least 45 minutes. I'm
really
like constantly,
wow.
Well, because I'm kind of playing them like perfect. Like I'm not losing anyone. I'm not even getting people downed.
Oh, you're missing. You know the heroes can revive themselves. That's literally the point.
No, I know. But there's an achievement for playing like 20 levels without ever having someone downed, and I was like, well, I might as well just do that on the first 20 levels. That'll be the easiest time to do it.
Gotcha. Sure.
But it's just because I keep trying to like really like play it perfect. So I'm like, I'll start a level, I'll be a few turns in, and I'll be like, oh, that was not the play I should have done. Let's restart that level, try it again.
Oh,
like
wow.
I'm trying to get like perfect runs almost. So after one mission's done, it's like, wow, that was just like a lot. I need a break.
You fought the Brumac, you said, though.
That boss fight was crazy difficult. Holy smokes.
It's fun. That's a fun fight.
That was probably the hardest. I had to really like tactically think out like, okay, how is this going to work? Because like he was completely wiping the floor with me the first few times. And I was like, I got to restart. This is terrible. I got to restart. This is terrible. But then when you do that enough, then the levels become like clockwork, and it's like, I'm the smartest man in the world. Look at this. And that's what I love about tactics games. Like I get the same kind of thing with Fire Emblem. If you can like really like get things down, it's like a game of chess.
Yeah.
And it like everything's firing off perfectly. So yeah, I'm playing a bit of that in the time too. I don't think that game looks very good.
Yeah, it has
it's
weird
probably
texture
like my
problems.
Shitty computer, but I just don't think it looks very nice.
Even like on a higher setting, it has weird texture pop in every now and then. There's weird issues with that game that I don't understand, but yeah.
Okay, but that's all I've been playing. So let's do some news. There was a whole bunch of news this week.
Let me take the floor from you for a second. You were talking about how much you love Apex and Battle Royale. Let me talk to you about the old days of Battle Royale when there was a game called The Culling that had like...
All right, DayZ. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, kind of. 30 people into a ring, first person melee based type of thing with some guns later, like for the end game stuff, right? It was a pretty mildly successful thing, I would say, back in the day. And then they fucked it up by consistently not talking to their community about what they should be done.
Did you say the name of the game yet?
Yeah, The Culling.
The Culling.
Okay. Sorry, maybe I missed that.
Not updating it enough with stuff. Then they released The Culling 2, which had like 20 people on launch day playing it. So not enough for even a full match. And then it just slowly went down because it was garbage. They apologized for it and refunded everybody for that game and took it off the market. Well, now they're back with a new idea. The new idea is called The Culling Origins, which is the original game. If you had the original game, you have it currently. It went live today, the servers apparently. But the thing about this game is that if you didn't own it, it costs you a fee to buy it, and then it costs you a fee after one match per day. You get one match per day you can play, and then you have to buy tokens to play more matches in that day. So it is literally a pay-to-play game. You buy it for like $5, and then you pay like $1 per match. Unless you're winning all the time, then you get given a token that you can put forward to another game or whatever. So it is literally pay for however many matches you want. And if you don't like the token system, you can just give them more money to have like a week free play or a month free play or whatever. So yeah, it's weird.
Doing this?
What's that?
Are people happy with this?
No.
No, I would say people are not happy with this.
Okay.
I would say so far also that the few people that have just been like, we really want the culling to like come back, Xavier, please, they're gone. Like they've lost everybody at this point. Even the people that were holding on for hope, they're really, 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 really bad. I kind of understand what they were trying to do with it. At that point, you should just make it a free game for everybody, right? If you're going to charge microtransactions, like you have to buy the game and then you have to pay literally to play it, or do a subscription model like WoW or something. And even then, there might not be people playing. So like you're paying to like literally stand there or whatever. I don't know.
And
This is a bad idea. This is extraordinarily bad because they were never big enough, even when they were big, to pull this off. I don't know why they thought they could come back and do this. It's crazy to me.
Trying to think of any game that I would like do that for, and the closest I could think was like, well, I purchased Overwatch.
You buy a
and then
a battle pass for Apex. You would do it for Apex.
Well, the different that's a free to play game.
No, that's
so I'm trying to think of a
right.
game. So I'm trying to think of a game that I had to purchase and then I had to pay to play it. So that would be like I paid $60 for Overwatch, and then I have to pay for Xbox Live. And that barely counts.
Right.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
A stretch.
I guess the closest is people that bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then they buy the battle pass every month or whatever. And even then, they're getting extra for buying that. They're not just getting the game. You know what I mean? Like they're buying the battle
getting access into playing it. They could play easily without the battle pass. Yeah. No, I mean I wouldn't really consider battle pass as accounting. And again, if I go back to the Apex example that you brought up, because that's my frame of reference, I get so much additional cool things I have access to when I pay for that battle pass. And I am more than happy to give them $10 because I didn't give them any money to play. I also earned in-game $10 from playing it so much last season. Like, it's just paying for itself at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this happened just like a couple days ago. We're still in the process of seeing what this is going to do to Xavier, the team that does this, and the community at large. But most people are not happy with this, and there's a lot of like online personalities talking trash about it, of course. So this is probably going to be their biggest failure yet, and might actually kill that company fully. Who knows? We'll see.
It wouldn't shock me. That's just the crazy move to do.
It's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Even if so the reason WoW got away with it and why like Final Fantasy gets away with like a subscription model is because, first of all, you can always play, and so like they're big enough that they could do it. And there's a whole lot of content in there. The culling is literally just go into a match and try to like survive to be the end, to like get the end, and then that's it. Like there's not a full thing of gameplay there that you're paying for every month, a subscription for.
If that's your game, I could see you wanting to play for it, but it's with the example you brought up with WoW and Final Fantasy 14, they're kind of the biggest players in that space.
That's what I mean.
Is not anywhere close to the biggest player in the battle royale space. So they're like they're asking for stuff that like Fortnite doesn't even ask for.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
like, Fortnite could probably get away with this, but it's Fortnite. They could get away with anything they wanted to do.
I think PUBG could even maybe get away with it at this point. Even
Yeah,
like,
probably. Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
I actually, you know what? I don't even know. That might actually drive people away at this point because it's been so long for free. Putting up any gateway might drive them away. But like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. This is an absolutely crazy move from this team, and I'm afraid it's probably just going to lead to that team dissolving completely. At this point, maybe they should. They keep making bad business decisions. The market's speaking. They
surprised
shouldn't
they're
be
still
around.
around after this many stumbles.
Crazy. I pulled another news thing that apparently updated just like an hour ago. We got news as to more NES and SNES games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. For Super Nintendo, we're getting Operation Logic Bomb, Panel Dupont, and Wild Guns, which is the thing I wanted to talk about because that
Hell
game
yes,
is great.
Wild Guns.
Yep, that game's great, so I'm excited to see that coming. And for NES, we're getting Rygar, which is not so great, but sure.
It is weird that Wild Guns is getting added, considering Wild Guns Remastered is on the Switch already and has been for like at least a year.
Yep. Crazy.
But hey,
They probably know it's popular, so why not?
I guess, yeah.
I guess so.
Also, it's weird to see Panel Dupont added and not Tetris Attack.
What is Panel Dupont?
Panel Dupont is the original game.
Okay.
So
Cool.
Tetris Attack, it might be, you might know it better as Pokemon Puzzle League. Like it was the original way they brought that over here. They originally was called Panel Dupont in Japan, and then they changed the license to Yoshi and other like Yoshi's Island characters just to make it more appealing over here. That's why they also give it the Tetris name. I'm guessing they didn't want to license the Tetris license again. And like, it's just cheaper if we put Panel Dupont up. I'm assuming that's why we're getting it, but like it's still interesting because like most people know that as Tetris Attack or as Puzzle League at this point.
Sure.
Cool. Okay, well, I'll take over the news at this point. Grand Theft Auto 5 is free on the Epic Game Store.
Okay.
I usually don't mention what the free game is.
I'm a bit of Epic right now.
So many people try to do it. My client was busted like all day. I could not.
That's why everyone was posting pictures of a busted Epic client. Yeah. Now it makes sense.
So clearly, lots of people want Grand Theft Auto 5 for free. Which I thought everybody had Grand Theft Auto 5. That's like the most profitable game ever.
Not everyone has it because it's still literally that game that shows up in like the top 10 monthly sales for consoles every month.
Right. That's why I was saying. That's why I was like, who doesn't have this game yet? But
on PC, anyway, probably a lot of people because it's more recently on PC. So maybe it's people that are just I had this on PlayStation. Let's check it out on PC now.
I also mentioned this. If you redeem this free game, you will get a $10 code for the Epic Game Store. This is also the first code that Epic has given out. They've done coupons before, but you can use this coupon for DLC this time. So,
shit.
Control Season Pass, here I come, baby.
Hell yeah.
So you're losing money not getting this free game. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm getting it right now.
Nice.
Yeah, now that I know that
you're talking about the Control Season Pass, right?
Yep. Obviously.
Sony had a state of play today all about Ghost of Tsushima. I'm assuming neither of you guys watched this.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
This is the first time I'd watched like a ton of gameplay of that game. That game is Assassin's Creed. Straight up, it is Assassin's Creed. From like things in the environment are flashing because you can press a button and collect them for crafting materials, to hey, you're going towards this fort, do you want to run in there and attack and just hack and slash your way through, or do you want to crawl around and use your bow and arrow and take them out like an assassin? It is just Assassin's Creed again, which is exciting for me. I'm an Assassin's Creed fan. It's also worrisome for me because I'm already worried playing Odyssey is going to burn me out on Assassin's Creed in time for Valhalla. And now I'm already thinking about playing what is essentially the East Asia version of Assassin's Creed that everyone's been asking for in July. So
it's kind of funny.
Yeah, here we go. Anyway, they had a big long gameplay demo. Fully just gameplay. It was about 18 minutes long. There seems to be some cool stuff where it's like the wind will direct you towards just like interesting things to engage with, whether it's like a haunted cave or a new village. You can like follow the wind where the wind goes, so that seemed kind of cool. There's also a black and white mode, which seems cool as well. It looks like a cool game. I'm probably gonna play it because like why not?
Okay.
July 17th, and I'll tell you the one reason why not is because that's also the day the new Paper Mario is coming out.
Okay. Sure.
This was announced this morning. Paper Mario, the Origami King, I think it's called.
Yeah,
the
sounds
Origami
right.
King. Who's excited for more Paper Mario?
That's why the screenshot I saw was origami. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it's gonna come with some origami paper in the box like Heavy Rain did?
Oh, I forgot it even did.
I still have that.
If not,
somewhere.
I think they fucked up.
It might.
So we'll see which origami-based game is better on July 17th for this new Paper Mario. Those last two Paper Marios suck.
I've never played a Paper Mario game in my life.
It's gonna be your first.
This one, yep.
Yeah. This is the one that makes a difference. This is the one that gets you.
No, I'm honest. Are you interested in this one?
I mean, maybe. Why not? At this point, it's on the Switch. I have the
curious.
Switch open all the time, so.
I'm curious about this game. Watching the trailer, and then like someone found gameplay footage of the battle system, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's clearly not Sticker Star, but I also can't tell what it is otherwise. Like you're in like a giant arena, and there's like 5 rings of enemies outside of you, and you can line up the rings so that they're all in order, and that gives you an attack bonus. And then you pick. It showed them picking the attacks they had, which were like kick or like obviously jump and hammer, like it normally is in Paper Mario, but like they were still shiny and stuff, like the stickers. So I can't tell what it was meant to be or what it's going for. So I can't wait for more information on this.
Huh.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get some soon because, like I said, this comes out in 2 months, basically. You can pre-order it now if you want. And yeah, that's July 17th, same day as Ghost of Tsushima, so that's gonna be a fun day. In other like big news events, this was part of Keely's. What is his summer? Is it Summer Game Fest? I think that's what it is. Summer Game Fest streams was Unreal Engine 5 was revealed, and I think that this tech demo looked fantastic. They have said it's not an actual game. It is just an example of how things could look, and it was running on early PS5 hardware.
Okay.
I wish it was a game because it looks awesome. If you want to check out some of the stuff they showed off, I would recommend looking at the Unreal Engine YouTube channel. There's a 9-minute video and a 2-minute video. If you're pressed on time, check out the 2-minute one. But hey, we live in a quarantine, so you got 9 minutes. Check out the 9-minute one. That's the good one you want to watch.
I'm in the 9-minute
specifically
one
for
right
you
now.
guys. Yeah, things to check out. It looks a lot like there's like wall climbing. Like it's got your Uncharted in there. If you want to jump to around the 430 mark, maybe even just a little bit. 420 is probably a good one. You're climbing up walls. It looks fantastic.
I'll watch.
They went into
later.
Obviously the lighting around the 6-minute mark looks fantastic. The big thing though is the end, this is why you don't want to watch the 2-minute one. Is if you get to about, I want to say 7:30, watch the rest after 7:30, because there's this flight section that looks unreal, looks super fun. They said it was all in-engine gameplay. None of that was a rendered cutscene or anything like that. This was all a real-time demo. I wish this was a game. This looks like a fantastic Uncharted game mixed with flying. It looks like Prince of Persia 2008. But way better, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was Unreal Engine 5. So Tim Sweeney from Epic was on there talking about that. Kind of just getting into the depths of it, how it's going to be on everything. They're mostly going to be getting everything ready for 2021. They talked about how Fortnite will move to Unreal Engine 5 mid-2021. So this is still a ways off. Don't expect this to be on the PS5 or anywhere later this year, but sometime next year.
That's why I saw a picture of Tim Sweeney eating Popeyes or whatever. Okay, now
Tim Sweeney was eating Popeyes, and everyone was like, "Why does he have nothing in his room except for one of those like static electric balls?" When you touch, like, why was that just on the floor?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
They also had a smaller announcement. They announced the Epic Online Services have launched, which is Epic opening up to all developers for free their SDK to get your game running cross-platform on consoles.
Okay. That's huge.
Which
Yeah.
this is a huge deal. So
It
if you look
is.
at Fortnite, it has crossplay. You look at like Paladins that has crossplay again across different consoles. Epic is giving this away to any developer for free, the ability to put that into your game.
It makes sense because then you get people in the Epic ecosystem. It totally makes sense to do this.
I think this is huge. This is such a huge win for gamers. I would love cross-platform. They're slowly doing it more and more. And way to go, Epic, just giving this out, just making this a possibility. Like I keep saying, Epic.
It's
Go
not
ahead.
just giving it out. It's literally because it's going to improve their company. Like, have you ever tried to sign into Dauntless? You have to use an Epic account. They're making an ecosystem where people have to use them. So like,
Sure,
it's.
I don't think
Definitely
that's not much off my plate. Like I'm not losing that much having to do that. So I think that this is a huge win.
Yeah, it's a huge win until there's a giant leak or like hack or something. Like, I hope it's.
I mean, you could
good.
say that about any company.
I do say that about every company. Yes.
Yeah, but Epic's already had a history of some issues, so that's kind of why everyone's so wary about it right now.
Well, I was actually going to say Epic's is continuing a history of doing some really like consumer forward stuff.
Oh, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong on that.
For sure. Yeah.
Do we have the other thing on here about the whole like the first million thing, or is that also part of this?
First million? I don't know what you're referring to.
They changed their license recently for Unreal Engine. They've made it more new user friendly, and apparently they have a new agreement right now that they do not charge you anything for using their engine up until past the first $1 million worth of sales on your game.
Yeah, there's no licensing
I actually do
fee.
think I did hear about this.
Yeah.
Which is also a big deal.
Yeah, no, that's maybe for like game developers the bigger deal for sure. That's huge for indies.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Yeah. For us, it's obviously the fact that we could play a game with people on different systems.
I mean, yeah, I think Epic has been using their money in like really like weirdly generous ways that they do not have to. Like you go back to like the revenue split thing from, a year or so ago. Like that was a big deal too. So it is cool that they are continuing to do this.
Yep. I'm trying to figure out what this news is, this PS5 thing.
Sony just basically came out and they kind of mimicked Microsoft's mentioning that their hardware is on track for a 2020 holiday release.
Okay.
They don't have any major issues in their development pipeline at the moment, so everything is good to launch this fall.
Cool.
And then the next biggest news, this was another Jeff Keighley joint. He got on a live stream with the head of Vivendi and Tony Hawk on his birthday to announce Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
And apparently Tony Hawk leaked it a couple hours early.
I guess he was like texting it out or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
What do you
Dude's
think?
Excited, man.
Well, are you guys excited?
I love Tony Hawk, but I also remember Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD, which is just this.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with HD was the physics, right? Everyone hated that.
Yeah, the physics were weird. I'm trying to remember what studio did that. Was it Vicarious or was it Beanox?
It wasn't Vicarious. You're right. It was Vicarious Visions, not Vivendi. Sorry. That's the thing is a lot of people have more hope with this one because Vicarious Visions, they did a lot of the current Activision remasters, Spyro and Crash, which have been received very well.
It was Robomodo, which also did all the bad Tony Hawk games, including Skater 5, Shred, and Ride.
Yeah, that would do it. Okay, now that explains why there's more confidence.
That team
There's also apparently a number of original Neversoft developers in here as well.
Cool.
From the old days.
Very cool.
Over at Vicarious Visions. So seems like they're going for good with this one. They got a team behind it. I'm definitely more hopeful just because of the Crash and Spyro team people working on it. Like those are great ports.
If it captures that feel, day one purchase for me. If
for
it
sure.
doesn't, then I won't be shocked. Basically, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really feel like I've already gotten my fill of 1 and 2. Like it's always great to go explore them again, but I don't need a 4K re-release of it.
Mhm.
I'm the
I want to
opposite.
know.
I didn't play much of 2. I played a lot of 1, but I also don't return to those games like ever. So like I'm down. It's also $40. Like that's great.
Yeah.
My main stance right now is like I want this. If this ends up being good, I want it to sell well, so we get an actual proper Tony Hawk Pro Skater entry again, and not
agree.
just the cash in that was 5.
Yep, 100%.
Well, I think you get a 3+4 next, right? And then you'll get a 6. I don't know.
That's the question. Like people love 3 and 4, but 3 and 4 is also where they started losing a couple people because they started going so combo crazy. Like the Thug era is like the last good time I remember hearing people talk about Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
I loved American Wasteland, but like after that, it's like everyone's like varying opinions.
The jackass of Tony Hawk kind of took over too much.
Yeah, I mean that was Thug 2 was literally Jackass, and Thug 1 was like hinting at it.
They have said they're bringing some of the tricks and stuff you would get from the later games into these ones. Because they understand.
Watching the trailer, you can see them doing a revert off of a ramp, so it's probably going to play engine wise like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD did.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fully bringing everything in. They just kind of said they're bringing in some stuff that they expect gamers would kind of expect to be there.
Yeah.
They didn't really go into details, but they did mention like the manual and revert are part of that as well.
Yeah, manuals from 2, but revert is really the big thing, and shoot, I forget the thing they added in 4 that actually like made it so you could pretty much just chain like crazy. I think I might be thinking of just I don't know.
It's going to be PS4, Xbox One, and Epic Game Store September 4th. Right. There's a few different editions. One of them includes a skateboard.
I saw a mini skateboard, like the little fingerboards.
No, I think it's a full skateboard. It's $100.
That's too cheap for a good
skateboard
and a game.
What was I gonna say? And it's the design is that weird bird skull one that I remember was in Tony Hawk 1.
Oh, that's Tony Hawk's actual birdhouse logo. Like that's a skateboarding company.
All right. If you pre-order, you get access to the warehouse demo earlier than the release date, whenever that comes out. I think the game looks good. I'm down for some Tony Hawk myself.
This is gonna be a day one for me.
Sean is correct. It comes with an actual skateboard deck.
Oh, that thing's gonna be garbage then for that price. But I mean, it's a package.
No, it doesn't come with the wheels. It's literally just the deck.
Oh,
so that will actually be good at that price.
Okay, that makes sense then.
You guys gonna play it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like I said, if it's good, we'll play it.
Okay. I think I also heard that they're doing the soundtrack.
Yeah, they've got most of the songs back from 1 and 2. They've already shown Goldfinger's back, so Superman's in there. Rage Against the Machine, Dead Kennedys, bunch of other mainstays from the first 2 games.
Cool.
So here's the question. Everyone's asking. Who's the like guest characters? Is Spider-Man exclusive?
I think you're right. I think you're right about it being Crash and Spyro, honestly.
Yeah. Crash is probably in there.
Crash, yeah. And who else would you put in? Who would you want to put in there?
Well, it's probably got to be an Activision character. So now's our chance to have Soap McTavish, baby. Let's go.
Let's bring back Officer Dick. Let's do it.
Okay, Darth Maul. Just bring everyone back.
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue on. Ubisoft has announced their kind of E3 replacement event July 12th called Ubisoft Forward, a digital showcase with exclusive game news, reveals, and more.
Oh, man.
So a month later than typical.
Are they going to finally show Gods and Monsters so I can see that game instead of a screenshot or two?
I would assume so.
I hope so.
I'm assuming they just had an investor call today. I didn't pull that because it was just like a series of tweets. But they said they're currently working on 5 AAA titles, 4 that have been announced, 1 unannounced, and the 4 would have been Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Gods and Monsters and Quarantine, right?
Okay, cool.
Maybe it wasn't Gods and Monsters though. Maybe it was like a new Far Cry. I don't know. I can't remember, but maybe that's the unannounced one.
Okay.
But I'm assuming they would show Quarantine as well.
I hope so. Yeah.
This got me thinking, like, what we normally we do like an E3 predictions kind of thing, like the week before. But now that E3 is getting like spread out, we got to like predict stuff soon here. So this just kind of like, hey, what do you guys think is going to be at the Ubisoft press conference?
Oh, right now?
Assassin's Creed.
I don't know, just like off the top of your head, what do you think's going to be there? What would you like to be there?
Assassin's Creed Just Dance going to be there. I'd love Beyond Good and Evil 2 to be there. I'd like to know that thing.
So how do they do Just Dance with the world as it is? How do you get a parade together?
They advertise the online mode, and they just have everyone separately with in their houses doing the actual like parade thing, and then they do a visual mosaic of all of them like in different screens.
Yeah,
together.
I think they do like a Zoom meeting, like how people have been like singing together.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense to me. But I think they show Quarantine.
Yeah, I would love to see Quarantine.
Gods and Monsters.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Gods and Monsters. I forgot about that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they announced a new Far Cry.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that would be more than just a trailer. Probably. So
I mean, I would assume they I don't know exactly. I would assume they probably have gameplay because those Far Cry games are pretty similar.
Exactly.
I'm not saying I'd be really excited for another Far Cry. I think there's enough Far Cries, but obviously Assassin's Creed.
Yep.
Watch Dogs 3.
A new IP or two that we don't know about would be fantastic.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if is there anything you would love for them to bring back? I'm trying to think of some other IPs.
Rayman.
You think they do another Rayman?
I would love another Rayman on Switch.
I thought they basically burned their bridges with the creator though. I'm trying to remember what the hell's even going on with that.
I mean, they put out a new one, like a side-scrolling one on Apple Arcade back in September.
Oh.
But I thought that was a port of the mobile Endless Runner. I guess I'm wrong.
It was another one of the Endless Runner style ones.
Oh, okay.
Because there's been like 3 of those for Rayman, and it was a new one. Trying to think of Ubisoft properties. Steep. I don't think they do anything with Steep. Division 2.
Yeah, they probably announced something for Division 2. I don't know what.
Another thing for Division 2.
Another year, maybe another season.
Right. They probably talk about like whatever the next upcoming season of Siege is, right?
Oh, for sure. I'm trying to think of what they do with the Ghost Recon series. If they do more Breakpoint, or if they're just like, Breakpoint was a failure. We know you guys kind of hated it. Here's the new one.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised because they've been working on Breakpoint. I wouldn't be surprised to be like, and here's the first or the second year coming to Breakpoint. What you can expect with Breakpoint, and they're I wouldn't be surprised if they're not going to stand their ground and turn that thing around like they do time and time again with their series.
True, they do that a lot. That's true. I hope so, because I tried replaying some more Breakpoint when it was on a free weekend a while ago. That game still just doesn't feel right. Something's off about it. I don't know what.
All right. The next I got is we got a release date again for the Iron Man PSVR title, and it is July 3rd.
Cool.
Let's do some questions. If you want to send in questions, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. First one comes from Kevin, who writes, I recently installed Windows 10 32-bit on my mom's old laptop and was surprised that it still worked with only 1 gig of RAM. This made me think, what are some games that were really impressive considering the hardware they were on?
Resident Evil 2 on N64.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's the fact that they got that running is amazing.
Yeah. They crammed a 2 CD game into one N64 cartridge. I think it was one of the biggest cartridges you could get at the time, but like it fucking worked. It wasn't too terrible a downgrade, honestly.
Yeah. They have exclusive content in that too. Which is weird.
I don't think it's that much, but yeah.
It's a file that ties some of the games together, and I think another mode that's just kind of like a battle mode. But
I
yeah,
don't even remember that. But yeah, it has like tofu and hunk and everything. So
it's crazy that they got that in there for sure.
that's the version of 2 I played actually.
The Game Boy Advance versions of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games are way
Yes.
better than they have any right to be.
Yeah,
That was Vicarious Visions.
Yeah.
That's what they were known for originally.
Yeah, those things are actually like really good.
yeah. They got Doom working on the SNES back in the day. That was crazy.
Barely.
Yeah. Also, just at the time, I remember Donkey Kong Country just being like, how does it look this good with the SNES back then?
You know, I didn't play it myself, but I always thought this was a weird port. So how did this run StarCraft on the N64?
Apparently,
It was
it's
pretty
very
muddy
good.
looking. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it did all right. It was a little bit muddy. That's about it. But it had both StarCraft and Brood War in it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I guess like the answer is just Nintendo. Nintendo always has like kind of subpar hardware for a while, and they somehow made it work. And then they had the GameCube, which was better by all rights because mini disc was better, but nobody used the capabilities of that thing, unfortunately. Weird. Okay, VGC Kenny says, what cool action moment from a video game or anything else would you sign the people running this aren't responsible for my death waiver? Would you go on? Holy shit. Hold on. I think there's some like commas or something missing from this. What cool action moment from a video game would you sign the people running this aren't responsible for my death waiver? Would you go on if they had a highly accurate amusement park ride of it? You aren't guaranteed to die, just highly likely. Any battle royale. I'm not signing a waiver.
Any Uncharted set piece.
Oh my god.
I immediately went to like Fast and Furious movies.
Oh no.
Anything from Fast 5 with the train at the beginning.
Yeah.
Seems pretty nuts.
Yep.
How about any one of the Assassin's Creed's like Leap of Faiths?
Oh god, no, never. I did a 30-foot jump into the ocean once, and I will never do that again.
That sounds terrible.
That shit is terrifying.
Well, what if you did it into a pile of leaves?
Yes, much safer than the ocean.
Yeah.
Pile of leaves.
And you land on your back into this pile of leaves.
No. God, no. Oh, I mean, to be fair, that's how you want to land if you want to actually survive. But yeah. Lineback writes in and says, what is the longest it has ever taken you to beat one game?
I feel like we have to exclude games that we just stopped and we plan to get back to.
Oh.
That's just
I mean,
my whole life.
But I feel like that kind of makes sense. Like, there's got to be some game from your childhood where you're just like, you started a file and then you're like, I'll get back to it later.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. Is like, of course we have that, but I feel like that doesn't count because I think it has to be something that you did go back to.
Okay.
Like, how long was that?
Well, I'm assuming this has to be something you did go back to. Like, that's the actual
exactly.
like requirement.
Yeah. Because like I could say like, well, I never finished Final Fantasy 3, 10 years ago.
Or 7.
Still got that save file.
For that.
7, even further back. Still got that save file. But like that doesn't count. That's not fair. I'm trying to think if there was like a long time and then I did actually go back. I don't know.
There's definitely something, but I'm blanking right now.
It's probably like 1 year. There's like Doom 2016. I played that when it came out, and I wrapped that up earlier this year. That was actually probably the longest.
Oh wow. Okay, that super counts. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that was 4 years.
So here's the thing: is that if I'm not into a game enough to finish it, I don't go back to it. Because why would I?
That's the thing. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
I'm thinking, I got a couple examples I can think of. Okami, I was playing for a while, loved it, and then God Hand came out and I played that instead. Okay. And then later, when Reese and I were still dating, we played through all of it. So that would probably be a time span of like 9 years at that point.
Okay.
Did you continue from your save?
No, that's the thing though. We started scratch. The problem is anytime like we go like
Yeah.
that long and go back to a game, we start a new save file. So
Right, that's the smart thing.
if we're counting just reloading where we left off, I don't think I have a single example.
Yeah, because that's what I was talking about for Doom. If because you forget stuff, right? Like I just said this with Assassin's Creed. Like I barely remembered the combat.
Oh man, I actually have an answer to this. So I played Pokemon Platinum when that came out.
I knew it'd be a Pokemon game. I knew someone would have a Pokemon game answer for
Put
this.
it down until God knows when, and like, I don't know. I picked it up and beat it one day when I just had nothing else to do because I was close-ish to the end, like the same save file and everything.
Between that was?
I'm trying to remember when. The problem is that I don't remember when I went back to it. It was probably like 2015.
I think Platinum came out in
Ish.
Oh man, when did Platinum come out?
Platinum would have been 2000 and
Was it 9? I want to say Diamond.
8 or 9. 8 or 9.
Okay.
Diamond was 7 or 6.
Let's say about 7 years in between then, I guess, probably.
That's
I still had the same team.
Platinum was September 2008.
Okay.
So 7 years, roughly.
That's a long way. I think Pokemon would be an easy one to do this too, because there's no like active time battling.
Yep.
Like you can just sit there and be like, wait, how do I battle again? I'm going to hit A on fight.
Yep.
Like
I didn't even know the Pokemon in my party. Like I didn't remember them at all. So it was that memorable.
Suku asks, does Kirby have teeth?
Oh God, I hope not.
No, there's no way it has teeth, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think it has teeth.
I think depends on which power it's using.
That's true.
What would it have to eat to get teeth?
Any enemy with that primarily is teeth.
Like what?
Like a giant dentures monster.
One of those like wind up teeth rattling.
Yeah, exactly. Things. Chattering teeth. Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
Oops.
Where
it's Paul.
I think it's me. Yeah. Green Fantastic says, I recently got really into Elite Dangerous spaceflight sim. Considering purchasing a flight throttle and joystick, what is your dream home simulator machine? I've always wanted one of those like weird VR things with like the like 360 gyro ball treadmill thing to like really never have to worry about walking into a wall or something.
At GameWorks, the one that's near where PAX East or PAX West usually is, they have Initial D set up in a cockpit that moves around based on how you're driving, and if you're going uphill or downhill. I want one of those, and I believe with like iRacing tech, they're doable.
Yeah, that's cool.
This might not seem like the coolest piece of tech.
Okay.
I would just love a skee ball machine.
That's fair.
That would be cool.
I would just love like, hey, I'm going to the kitchen to grab a snack. I'm gonna just throw a skee ball. I'm just on my way.
Only one though. Only one skee ball.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, I don't have time to play a full skee ball game. I don't want to like, you know, get in the zone. I got something else going on. I'm a little hungry. I'm gonna just on my way throw a skee ball.
Yep. Agreed.
I'm a man of simple tastes. What can I say?
Fair enough. Next one comes from Rasterman, taking this one from Twitter. The last TV show you watched is now getting a crossover with the last video game you played. What is the unholy abomination thing that you have just created? Fuck, what's the last TV show I've watched? Simpsons. Yeah. Simpsons combined with Picross. So I got Simpsons Picross.
Yo, that's great.
That's not bad. Yeah,
that's honestly not that bad.
That totally works.
If you told me that's coming out next week, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I got Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and I guess it's actually Animal Crossing. Okay. So there's like a weird dark underbelly where some of the villagers have been kidnapped and put in a bunker for 15 years. But it's funny.
Okay. What's the last TV show I watched? The Outsider mixed with Mega Man does not work at all.
Interesting.
How would that work? Like you put it together, you have to make this game.
I guess you play as the main detective dude who's trying to figure out the murder that happened,
He's Mega
and
Man.
and you are taking down. Oh, yo, you could actually make this work. So the killer is this weird like paranormal thing that copies, like a doppelganger that copies people and then murders people on like looking like them, which causes a bunch of confusion and like sadness or whatever that makes it grow stronger. So you would literally play a detective that's chasing this thing down in its different like people form as like the robot masters, which is really fucking weird. And then it would end up in a most disappointing ending, as every Stephen King property does. And weirdly, how actually the last game I played, Mega Man 04, ended. This works out very well. I'm in. Also, good question. That's great.
See, Kenny, would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Cold.
Cold.
Hot.
Cold, you can just put on more layers.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't care about your rationale. I'm picking hot.
Fair. All right. Hebrew Lantern says, what video game do you wish you could experience again for the first time?
Chrono Trigger.
Sure.
I feel like we had this question a lot. Like,
oh, the thing I was going to say to you, Paul, before, and I wanted to save it for the show, is so I think about, all right, favorite game, it's Burnout Paradise. So I got that again in the remaster. Obviously, it wasn't the first time, but I got that game updated. And the thing was, that game does not have the modern standards you would expect from a racing game in what was it, 2019, 2018?
Okay, but what
remaster,
what if they released? What if that game never existed and they released it now, and you're playing it for the first time?
I would not like that game very much because it would be missing so many features that are like basically required in a racing game at this point, such as being
what
able
I'm
to
saying
fast
is
travel.
that experience would be updated to now, because we're not talking about literally the same game again. I don't think.
That's what I'm saying is, well, I think it would be the exact same game again, because if you're updating it to a new thing, I think it's a different game. It is technically not that game. Like if you released Burnout Paradise right now with modern stuff, like a fast travel system, whatever else you might need, it's not the same game. I think that is separate.
Right, but that experience would. So this is the problem, is that you can't re-experience a thing. Like the experience is that time and place. It's not just the game.
Well, I think for this question, it is the game. They're saying you pick that game out of the past. It doesn't exist, and they were releasing it now. Which game would you like to do that for?
You wouldn't like that game at all if you just played it for the first time now?
I might like it a bit. I would definitely not like it as much as I did, because it would feel like it is missing and lacking. There's no way it would be my favorite game.
I feel like this makes this a flawed question, though, at this point, though, because then it's like, well, anything you pick that's old enough is just going to feel clunky compared to everything else, so it's not going to be fun. You're going to, like, that essentially means almost every game you choose now would be terrible.
Well, because I was going to go,
the only answer... The only answer I can think of that would be safe would be something like Tetris, or like Ghost Trick's also a good option.
Tetris would be.
So I think there are some games that hold up. I think it's part of, does the game also hold up?
Although Tetris on the NES was garbage, so that specific one wouldn't work. But yeah.
I mean, if we do change it, like if you are updating the game, then I think it just ends up being what's your favorite game, right? Which I think is a less interesting question.
But the thing is that the experience is like the part of the life of your life that you're in at that moment. Like if I'm really into fighting games, then it's like, oh, I wish I could re-experience Street Fighter 2 again for the first time.
I think it depends on the genre of the game too. Like I pick Chrono Trigger because I love the story of that, and like that would hold up because it's like, oh, I get to experience all these story twists again. Like I feel like there's certain things where like this question, like that whole like, is it not modernized thing isn't really an issue.
There's answers where that isn't an issue.
I think story games would hold up a lot better.
Yeah.
If story's like the main key. Or if it's a game that is like simple enough, and I think that's where we get to like, the Tetris stuff, where it's like it doesn't matter what age it is, the mechanics of Tetris are going to be Tetris. And sure, it might be in VR now or whatever, but it's still going to play basically like Tetris. Because like I can't think of like many shooters that I love that I would be like, I gotta play through this shooter again.
Sure. It's probably something story based, I guess.
Yeah, because I think that's also just kind of the stuff that you're going to latch onto. Like, is anyone really being like, man, actually, now that I was about to say, is anyone really being like, man, I just loved the guns of Singularity, and I wish I could experience that shotgun again?
Yeah.
But people do that, right?
Yeah,
With, like,
Singularity is
Doom
good.
and well, like Singularity for the weird story and the atmosphere and stuff. I could make an argument for BioShock, but again, that's more leaning on the atmosphere and the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my answer would probably be Ghost Trick, and I'm slowly getting to the point where I've completely forgotten that story, and I'm looking forward to that day.
So you're going back. You're going to go back to it when they eventually re-release it.
Probably will.
Yeah, when games stop coming out, yeah, I'm going to go back to that game.
I mean, I'm going to say the same answers of Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil, because
story.
Well, yeah, and I really, really liked those games the first time I played it, and I would like to have that experience again.
It also comes down to if you're a person who routinely plays older games, then that disconnect of like, hey, this is an old game, it doesn't hold up, wouldn't be as big of an issue. I know for myself it would. I don't really like going back to old games.
I don't mind going back to it. Honestly takes me like 10 minutes of learning a game to be like, this is fine again.
Exactly.
I go back all the time, so this is not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who's next. Who read that one?
I am.
Okay.
I'm next. Final Insanity writes in and says, how often / under what circumstances do you restart a game you haven't played in a while, as opposed to continuing from an old save? Hey, look, we sort of answered this one earlier.
Interesting.
If you don't remember, if you're not far enough in and you don't remember most of the mechanics, probably better to restart.
Yeah.
But like, there's a certain point where it's like, I've already put like 20 hours into this game.
Yeah.
There's 10 hours left. It'd be really weird to start all over and do another 20.
I think we did. Didn't someone send this in? Like, how many hours into a game? Oh no, it was like muscling through if you didn't like that part, right? That's what that was about.
Something like that, yeah.
But I think there's a similar answer here of like, how many hours in will you say, I'm gonna restart if it's been too long?
All right, here's a question for you guys. I'm gonna propose a hypothetical. You got to the point in Final Fantasy 13 where the game, quote unquote, opens up and is good.
So you're basically
so 20 hours in
Final Fantasy 13.
Back then. Now you want to play it again. Are you going to play that 28 or like 18 hours again? Or do you just start from your save file where you know this is the part that's good?
I'm starting over.
If I don't remember any of the story, it depends.
See, I look up a YouTube video and get caught up because I don't care.
Oh, that's
yeah, but at that point, you've watched. Okay, we're talking Final Fantasy, which is a game with like heavy cutscenes. If we're talking 13,
yeah,
and we're talking about 18 hours of gameplay, you're probably watching a 5-hour film at least at that point.
That's still less than 18 hours of games you have to redo.
So much fucking time, though.
That's
like at that point, you'd be like,
oh,
I should just go play something else.
Well, in this scenario, you're not allowed to play something else. You have to play Final Fantasy 13, and you have to decide: am I starting over, or am I continuing from where I left?
You're not allowed.
I'm starting over. I'm starting over, and I'm probably starting it on a new platform because why not? It probably got re-released somewhere, and there's a better version.
You know what? I'm just gonna take the stand and be like, I'm not starting over, even if I don't remember a thing. Then I'm not allowed to look up the synopsis. I don't care enough about story. I care more about mechanics. And if it finally gets mechanically good after 20 hours, I'm in.
I think I would probably load up the save, and then like if I play it, and it's like this doesn't feel right, I would probably restart.
A lot of games have like a kind of like synopsis of major story beats.
I don't think
13 did. No.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying in general. I've never used those, but I think those are in there for like, oh, I'm coming back to a game like a few months later. What happened again? Oh, here, let's catch you up story-wise. I've never once used that feature, but I guess that's what those are for. Have you guys ever used that feature?
No, I can't think of a game. Oh, really? Oh.
Which one did you use that for?
It's usually games that I've done on stream. So like you're like, oh, we haven't played this in like 6 months. What's the last thing we did? Okay, so here's like the check mark of things we've done. Okay, now I remember.
Okay, yeah, because I remember seeing that in like Professor Layton had those. But I always just play those kind of in like, one span.
Sure. Where are we? And is it me?
It should be you now.
Okay. Antonio writes in and says, "What is the first video game you remember buying with your own money? Did it become a treasured memory or an instant regret?" It was Epidemic for the PlayStation, and it was an instant regret.
See, the problem is I remember buying a game. It's the earliest one I can remember, but I know I bought other games before it. Kirby Superstar.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the first game I bought, I think, might have been Pokemon Red.
Okay.
I can't remember which came out first, honestly.
Between Kirby and Pokemon?
Yeah. Okay. I think Pokemon was first, actually.
I don't know which was the first one with my own money. It would have been something at like the cash converters, because that's where I was buying a lot of my games when I was super young, because they were like discounted.
They were a month apart.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I don't even fucking know which one I bought first then.
Like, the technical answer is I bought one of those freeware CDs that you can like buy for $10 with like comes with 100 games or whatever, but like PC games, because it had Jezball on it. And I love Jezball from computer class and like wasting time. The other things on that CD at that time were a free trial version of Duke Nukem, Doom 1, and Shadow Warrior. So a bunch of FPS games that I grew to love, weirdly.
I have absolutely no idea what's the first one I spent my own money on, and I can't even remember like the first games I got. First games I got definitely were like my dad bringing some games home. But like, I'm trying to think, like my Game Boy, was that a birthday gift, or did I use like birthday money? I think that was a birthday gift. I have no idea what I specifically said I'm going to buy this game with. I don't know.
Sure.
Oh shoot! Actually, shit. I think that means like the first game I bought was Link's Awakening then, because I forgot about Game Boy games till Pokemon. I don't know, because I remember getting my Game Boy when I was like 4 or 5. I distinctly remember getting it with Tetris and Mario Land. And then I remember like a year later, or it might even later that year, getting the battery pack and a carry case that I could keep it in. And I had that carry case up until last year.
Wow.
I got rid of it last year because I have too many Game Boy games to use it with anymore. Like it's
Cry?
What?
Did you cry? That sounds extremely sentimental.
It was very sentimental, but I was like, it's time to let go. I have
Bye, old friend. Did you bury it?
No. Like it was falling apart, but like it like I don't I guess I didn't put that much thought into it. I was just like I've had this for so long.
I'm trying to think. I have all of my Game Boy, or most of mine, like 95% of my Game Boy stuff. They're all in this old ass fanny pack. And I never like wore it as a fanny pack. That was, I guess, the bag I had. I don't even know why it was in a fanny pack. But they're all in that. I don't think I could get rid of that thing. That's like the Game Boy fanny pack. I'm gonna die before I get rid of that thing. I just know it. Okay, I'll read this last one. I haven't read one in a bit. I think we got it in order. Lucas writes, "What do you think the life cycle of the Switch will be? The Wii U had a short life cycle, and the Switch was released in the middle of the Xbox One PS4. Does it keep with the more recent 6 to 7 years, or is it extended to stay more in sync with Microsoft and Sony's potential future releases?" And then there's a second question. I'll read after that.
Sure.
So I guess the question is kind of, do you think the Switch will get like, will there be a hardware jump, like a significant platform hardware jump?
I'm gonna count a Switch. I'm gonna say a Switch Pro or like a DS Lite equivalent. I wouldn't count that as a hardware jump, but I'd say that like that's coming in the next year. I imagine next year we finally get like the Switch Pro, because we got the Switch Lite recently.
I wouldn't count that as a hardware jump either.
Yeah, exactly.
But like a DS to 3DS, I would.
Yeah.
I was thinking like DS to DS Lite kind of thing.
Right. So whatever
whatever
like the 3DS equivalent of the Switch is, like the next hardware jump, do you think that it comes before or at the same time as the end of the next consoles, basically?
Halfway through. I think Nintendo's just on their own cycle at this point.
They're on like a half.
Yeah.
I think so as well.
I think Switch has got at least 3 more years. At least.
Yep.
Yeah, probably. That sounds right.
I think the Switch lasts longer than we expect, though, because it's selling so insanely well.
Remember, like, this is basically their handheld this generation, and their handhelds traditionally hang on for a lot longer.
Yeah, for sure.
Second part, the Switch has been selling great, and a lot of the first few years have been ports of Wii U titles or Wii U sequels that are not much of a leap. Yoshi's Crafted World and Splatoon 2, for example. Assumption is Breath of the Wild 2 will be on Switch, but could it be a Switch future console, I guess, split as well in 3 to 4 years? I think that thing is just Switch. I think it is.
I agree.
I think it's
just
a
Switch as
lot
well.
shorter of a gap in between than we expect, because I bet they're using a lot of the stuff from Breath of the Wild 1.
Yeah.
As opposed to a whole brand new thing.
Yep.
That's my guess.
I
agree as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if Breath of the Wild 2 came out next year, basically.
Yeah, I would say probably a next year deal. With Paper Mario Origami King having been announced today, that was one of the games that was heavily rumored in that recent thing with the remasters of was it 64 Sunshine and Galaxy? So we're probably getting those announced real soon too. Plus, we still have a bunch of games we haven't heard of in a long time, like Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, obviously Breath of the Wild 2. So who knows? I think the Switch still got some time. Easily.
I agree.
For questions, if people want to send in questions next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box.
But
what is your game of the week?
No, we're not done. We have TDP episode names.
Oh, I forgot about that.
No, I had it up.
Usually we start with those. Yeah, let's do some episode names. It's been a while. There's no way we're going to remember any of these.
Agreed. Okay. Starting with the 27th of February, coronavirus is holding the fun hostage.
That's true. That was before coronavirus. We didn't even know what was about to happen.
Oh my god.
Those poor baby birds.
So the title is Coronavirus is Holding the Fun Hostage.
Oh, so maybe we did know about it.
Yeah, it was definitely already starting.
Yeah. Cons being canceled because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
That would have been the weekend I would have been gone for PAX East.
Oh, okay. You're probably right.
Yep, I agree. Context is talking about how the Sonic movie was delayed in China due to the coronavirus. Okay.
Oh, swing and a miss.
Okay. Anyways, March 5th, they were very cafe. Yeah, I don't know either.
Absolutely no idea.
Nope.
No idea.
That was still pre-lockdown for us, at least me. I think the next week is when the lockdown hits.
Context is John talking about how during Throne Controller's event at a theater attached to the Hard Rock Cafe, you could go to the place and see people. Sean said Throne Controllers wasn't very hard or rock and roll based. This was John's response.
Oh,
yeah, it was very cafe. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. March 12th. How have you never heard of Sean Connery?
What?
That is me. I was someone didn't know how to spell my name, or I was saying that I always find it crazy people don't know how to spell my name. Okay. And it's like, this is not an uncommon name. How have you never heard of Sean Connery?
Okay. Yeah, I'll back you on that, I guess then. A question came in about word mispronunciations. Sean complained about all the different ways people have said his name, pointing at Sean Connery's name as a reference. So yeah. 19th of March, the last one gets the phone. The last one gets the phone. I don't know at all, for the record. No idea.
Really no idea. No.
Can't think of anything.
Okay. Context is you are tasked with reviving a dead IP, Paul chose ET. Eventually it landed on turning into a battle royale where ET gets the phone to call
I figured
home.
it was a battle royale, but I couldn't figure out where the phone came in.
That idea is still great. We should do it. EDP Laboratories.
Let's just get that ET license.
Yep. March 26th. If my heart rate stops, it goes public. I'm trying to think of what would have been around at that time.
I might have said that.
This definitely sounds like a Sean, but what the hell would it have been?
Did you have some secret you were joking about hiding?
No, I think I was like talking in like a hypothetical scenario,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it was. I think I may have said this though. It sounds like something I would have said, or like a example I would have brought up.
Didinsky in the chat says the Xbox code ransom. That's a good poll that I didn't remember. Was that around
you
that
know what?
time?
That's probably it, actually.
I don't know what that is.
I think it would be.
Didn't a hacker like have a bunch of code on the new Xbox or whatever and was extorting them for
Yeah, they got the
$1 million?
the Nvidia like
Oh,
code.
okay.
data,
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
You guys can't look at the chat. That's cheating. These people like are behind.
They're behind. What do you, oh,
Like,
because they just
they're
listened
listening
to
to
it.
older episodes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. All right, fair enough. Let's see context. You're talking about how a hacker said they had the source code for the graphics, whatever, for the Xbox. We're holding it ransom. Paul remarked how the article stated that the hacker was a she, and Sean suggested the person came to them directly and said this.
Yeah.
My heart rate stops. It goes public.
Right, because he doesn't want to be gunned down.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know. April 2nd, top down time. TDT.
TDT, yeah, I
TDT.
think I just said that at the beginning. TDT, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's all it is.
That's specifically what people should yell to each other when they're in the know.
Oh yeah, like a greeting, like
Yeah.
it's time for TDT.
See
TDT
another
time.
fan, yeah.
Okay, context. Also known as TDT, TDP fans shove this at each other to ID themselves and get pumped. So stupid.
I love the get pumped part.
That part specifically. Holy shit. April 9th, politely gave them the middle finger.
I don't know. That
That
sounds like something I would have
could be a couple
said.
things.
Yeah. I don't know what
What was
this
it?
is.
What was the date again?
9th of April. So this would have been like right in the midst of Corona.
Yeah, I would have been like at home for like 3-4 weeks almost at this point.
Yeah. Politely gave them the middle finger.
I don't know. I want to say I said it though, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Context is talking about how E3 canceled their online presentation. Sean brought up speculation they were charging presenters for a slot, and this is how they responded.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. 16th of April. I still get frowns because of Spring Breakers, and I know exactly what this is. So I'll wait until you guys.
I don't know. That's a good movie though.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. That's a good movie.
It's
Well, now that you have the
absolutely
discussion
terrible.
about it being a movie, I'm pretty sure Nathan said this.
Yeah,
so
it was Nathan. So
Was it Nathan? Okay.
uh,
I think he was saying this to like his coworkers or something.
yeah, me and a coworker used to always bug him about this movie because he gave the recommendation and we fucking hate that movie. So this would have been about him giving a recommendation saying, I don't know that I want to recommend anything because I still get frowns about Spring Breakers.
I'll watch that movie right now.
Go watch it then.
Like,
that movie's terrible.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
No, context is a question about recommendations eventually got to the point where Nathan mentioned his coworker scowls at him because of Spring Breakers. Oh, Nathan.
I like how you're laughing because you're the person that scowls at him.
Well,
for that.
there's another guy that does specifically, but I just give him shit about it. I don't really care if he likes it, obviously. Oh, Nathan. That's it. Also, those are all of them. So thank you for writing in with those.
Cool. Thank you for writing that in.
Good memories.
Now what is your game of the week?
Ugh.
Picross.
The end of Mega Man 03.
I'm giving it to Apex's new season.
Nice.
Cool. That's the show. If you're a Blue Eyes patron, I will be putting a submission thread up tomorrow. So start thinking about which game you would like to submit to the poll. And without further ado, that's it. Bye.
Bye.
Later.